Today we're making a fishing lure. It's storming outside, but while it was storming outside, it was also storming in my brain. And as I was brainstorming fishing ideas, I was also kind of hungry. So I went to the fridge and found a pack of hot dogs, and that gave me my idea. Today we're gonna be turning another plunger handle into a workable, usable, catchable, not edible fishing lure. But let's get right into the lure build. All right, we're gonna get it about probably this long-ish. Now we're gonna be very careful to cut right on that line. Ah! All right, now we're gonna take it over to the belt grinder and grind these edges off. Now we're gonna hand sand it to make it smooth all the way around, just like a real hot dog. All right, I'm gonna try and do this before we lose power, but I'm now going to carve out all the details from the sides and that line that always runs down the middle. I know it's storming even louder. I'm trying to get this done. It may not look like much of a hot dog yet, but once we get that paint job, it's gonna look sweet. Right now, I'm gonna go ahead and drill 2 holes. One hole's gonna have a little bit of a rattle in it, and the other hole's gonna have a little bit of weight. So this is just gonna make it float properly. Plus, once you add your hooks, everything should be fine. This is a very simple lure build. All right, now I got those. I'm gonna sand over a little bit. All right, now I put on a little bit of baking soda just to give it some extra strength. All right, it's all glued in. You can hear the rattle. We're gonna sand it flat. Now that it's smooth, it's time to coat it again with one more layer of super glue to seal everything up, and then it's time to paint. Now, before we can do that, we gotta put in these screws of where the hooks are gonna go and where your line's gonna go. That way we can kind of hold it whenever we're coating it, and then we can also hold it while we're painting it. All right, front, back, let's get some super glue on this to seal the whole thing so it doesn't get waterlogged. All right, it's all coated, and now we wait for it to dry. Now, unfortunately, they don't sell hot dog red, so I'm gonna be mixing some red and brown together to try and get a perfect hot dog color. We're gonna do about 50-50 red and brown. Let's see what it looks like. All right, after mixing it up, we got a nice hot dog red. Let's load it up into the airbrush and get to painting. Yum. All right, I think that's a perfect hot dog color. We're gonna dry it off and give it a second coat. And now we have our perfectly painted hot dog. But we're gonna add one more detail just to make sure it looks as realistic as possible. Can't have a hot dog, got a little mustard. We're almost done now. Let's add our top coat, and this thing will be ready to put hooks on. Now we just gotta let this dry, hit a second coat, and we're all ready. Right, we've got our fishing lure done. You can see it is very much like a hot dog. We got our mustard, we got our little creases on the back, we got our line across the middle. Let's go ahead and go get some hooks put on this thing and take it out on the water. All right, we've got the hooks on. Now it's time for the sink test. I call it the sink test, not because I'm technically it'll sink, but because it happens in the sink. And it floats. All right, it looks like it floats pretty even. And I think once I get it in action, I think it'll walk the dog pretty good. So tomorrow morning, we'll take this thing out, test it out, and see if we can catch a fish. All right, it's time for the Glizzy's maiden voyage. First cast. Does cast very far. Oh my gosh. That thing walks the hot dog like a pro. I'm not even really good at making it walk the dog, but my goodness, it does it itself. You can hear the rattle. Paint job aside, mechanically speaking, just with the way the action is on this lure, this is probably the best spook I've made. Tested it in the pond, it works. Let's take it out to the swamp, see if we can catch us a monster. You know how some YouTubers like to stop the video at the most exciting part just to tell you to like the video and subscribe to their channel and drop a comment or something? Yeah, I would never do that. Anyways, back to the video. Oop. Well, it just jumped on my line. Scared me. Not scared me, got me excited. Maybe something scared that mullet. Oh. Just keep jumping all over right here. Now the first few trips were very unsuccessful, couldn't get a bite or anything on my line. So we finally went out to a third location, and you guys know I can't post a video without catching at least one fish. So here you guys go. Oh, well, that's a good one too. Not quite as big, but it's still good. Look at that. Oh, baby. Nice. He's fat. He's fat. If you'll look over here, I can take a screenshot for a picture or whatever. I was out fishing with a couple of buddies, and they were fishing off the bottom, and that seemed to be the only spot the bass were biting. Now that we got this cold weather, it doesn't seem like they want anything topwater, but I decided to try back in my pond one last time as a last-ditch effort. Well, it looks like we're not catching anything today, so we might just have to take this thing out in the springtime and test it out then. Top water's just not really working. Every time I've gone fishing, the fish have been biting real deep and low, so I guess we'll just have to put a pin on this one. I would say with the action that it has, it's definitely gonna catch a fish, but I can't say it's tried and true until we've caught a fish. So be looking for a video coming out maybe in the springtime. Some of these lures that I make over the winter time, we'll test them all out in the springtime if I can't catch fish on them. So that'll probably be a separate video. But one last announcement before we go. All right, guys, so I'm actually at the hospital right now with my wife. We're about to have our first baby. So I was not able to catch a fish with the hot dog lure. I know I'm disappointing a lot of you guys. I may not be able to fish for a little while. So instead of putting this video off for a few months, I'm gonna post it now. In a future video, we will test this and catch a fish, maybe sometime in the spring. But anyways, guys, as always, Jesus loves you, I love you, and have a great day. By the time this video comes out, I'm going to be a dad. I'll have my own baby. So I have some videos kind of scheduled out for the next few weeks. But we're going to take a little bit of a break, me and my wife, and just kind of enjoy this gift that the Lord has given us. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much for watching.